the blood supply of the brain is very important. The hypoxia occur even just 10-second blockage of blood supply is there. The patient will develop hypoxia. Then within 4 minutes, the irreversible damage to the brain occur, which cannot be repaired within the 4 minutes. And if there is blockage for the 10 minutes, the person will definitely die. Okay, so that's why the blood supply to the brain is very important. The brain weight is only 2% of your total body weight, but the cardiac output required for the brain is 20%. So you can see, you can imagine the 10 times, 2% of the total body weight, the weight of brain, but 20% of the cardiac output is required. So that's why it becomes very important, the blood supply of brain. So to understand the blood supply of brain, you should know the brain is supplied by internal carotid artery. 2 internal carotid arteries are there. Then other branches are there. We will see here. Usually in this, a question is asked circle of Willis. We'll see all detail, but circle of Willis or circulus arteriosus, it is a circle of arteries on the base of brain. You see, this is the base of the brain. So on the base of the brain, there is a circle of arteries that is known as circulus arteriosus or circle of Willis. So from two vertebral arteries which are the branches of subclavian arteries. Okay, two vertebral arteries unite to form a basilar artery at the basilar sulcus of the pons, and two internal carotid arteries which enter through carotid canal, two internal carotid arteries. So two internal carotid arteries which are branches of common carotid arteries and two vertebral arteries. Basically these arteries and their branches, they form a circle on the base of the brain, and that is known as arterius circulosus or circle of Willis. The easy name is circle of Willis. So here you see basically three arteries are there in this diagram. I have put in the capital letter big size: ACA, MCA and PCA. Anterior carotid artery, middle carotid artery, middle cerebral artery and posterior cerebral artery. Anterior cerebral, middle cerebral and posterior cerebral artery. Now you see these two are the internal carotid artery, right and left. They enter into the cranial cavity through carotid canal, and after entering into the cranial cavity, the internal carotid artery gives one anterior cerebral artery, this one going anteriorly, and one middle cerebral artery that lies in the sulcus of Sylvian, if you remember, Sylvius sulcus. Okay, lateral sulcus. So middle cerebral artery goes into the sulcus of Sylvian between temporal lobe and frontal lobe. You can make out big sulcus, and here you have middle cerebral artery. Now two vertebral arteries, which are the branches of subclavian artery, they enter into the cranial cavity, unite to form basilar artery, and basilar artery finally end or terminate into two posterior cerebral arteries. These are the two posterior cerebral arteries. Now two anterior cerebral artery, which are the branches of internal carotid artery, unite together here in the choroid fissure by anterior communicating artery. This is very small, anterior communicating artery, which unite the two anterior cerebral artery. Now middle cerebral artery and posterior cerebral artery, they are united by posterior communicating artery. So you have two communicating artery, one anterior communicating artery and one posterior communicating artery. They connect the anterior, middle and posterior cerebral artery. So in this way a circle is formed. Now through this circle, there are two set of the branches. One are the cortical branches and one are the deep branches. Cortical or superficial branches supplies to the cortex, and deeper branches goes in the substance of brain and then they supplies to the brain. The deeper branches are usually end arteries. They do not have anastomosis, so they are the end arteries. So you see here, first two, this vertebral artery at the pons, basilar sulcus, they form the basilar artery. From here the pontine arteries are there. Then they give posterior inferior cerebellar artery for cerebellum, and they supplies to the medulla. See, the medulla is supplied by this, cerebellum is supplied by this, pons is supplied by this basilar artery. Then here we have cortical branches, see, and deep branches. Now you see same middle cerebral artery, anterior cerebral arteries. So you need to remember this most easy diagram. Internal carotid artery, which give anterior cerebral artery and middle cerebral artery. This is the two vertebral artery unite to form basilar artery, which end as a posterior cerebral artery. Now they are connected by anterior communicating artery and posterior communicating artery. Okay, got it. Now from here we have circle of Willis has now branches, medial branches and lateral branches. On the medial side, medial branches, these are the medial branches. Lateral side we have lateral branches. Now the same you can see anterior cerebral arteries, vertebral arteries, you have posterior cerebral artery. But this diagram is important. As I told you, you remember this diagram. Now see, this is the middle cerebral artery which lies in the sulcus of Sylvian here. Middle cerebral arteries. So that supplies to the cortex of the brain. You see cortex of the brain. So that was the artery. So basically internal carotid artery and vertebral artery, they give branches, three branches, anterior, middle and posterior cerebral artery, two communicating artery, they form the circle of Willis. Now venous drainage, the veins of cranial cavity and cerebrum, they are of two types. One are the dural venous sinuses. There the venous channel are made up by dura mater, which we have studied in detail. And another are cerebral vein. So we'll see these are the cerebral vein, superficial cerebral vein. Okay, these are the cerebral vein. Superficial, anterior cerebral vein, middle cerebral vein, deep cerebral vein. Then these are the dural venous sinuses. Now sinuses we have studied the detail. So this is the venous drainage. As it is will be a short note, so we won't go detail. Spinal cord I have explained you already, the blood supply of spinal cord. Now applied anatomy is very, very important. There we will go bit detail also. So as I just now told you, CVA, cerebrovascular accident, is the third important cause of the death. So it occurs because of thrombosis, embolism and hemorrhage. If there is rupture of blood vessel in the brain, that can cause stroke. If there is blockage of the blood supply, that can cause block. Even clotting in the coronary artery can go to the cerebral area, that can block the blood supply of cerebrum, that can also cause the stroke. So stroke is a condition due to blockage of blood supply to the brain. Now, most common patient which comes to the clinic are hemiplegia, paralysis of the one half of the body. It is because of upper motor neuron. Upper motor neuron are the neuron of cerebral cortex, the motor area, which are supplied by the lenticulostriate branches of middle cerebral artery. The middle cerebral artery gives lenticulostriate branches. If those branches get blocked or ruptured, there will be damage to upper motor neuron and there will be hemiplegia. Opposite side of the body, paralysis will be there. Then Charcot artery, this is a artery of bleeding, and if it get ruptured, patient will have hemiplegia with coma. Then anterior cerebral artery gives a branch, that is Habuner artery. The Habuner artery, if it get damaged, blocked, then patient will have monoplegia, only one upper limb will be paralyzed. Then paracentral branch of anterior cerebral artery, if it get blocked, there will be lower monoplegia. So that you can remember one branch. Posterior inferior cerebellar artery get blocked, we have studied in medulla, Wallenberg syndrome will be there. In case of pontine bleeding, there will be pinpoint pupil, hyperpyrexia. When the fever is more than 107 degree Fahrenheit, 107 degree Fahrenheit, we call it hyperpyrexia. And because the pon contains thermoregulatory center, the brainstem contains thermoregulatory center. If blood supply to the brain is obstructed, it can cause hyperpyrexia also. Now complete occlusion means blockage of anterior choroidal artery. It may lead to the contralateral, means opposite side of hemiplegia, paralysis will be there. Then opposite side hemianopia, half of the vision is lost. Then if there is clotting, thrombosis means intravascular clotting of anterior spinal artery, it can lead to the medial medullary syndrome. That also we have studied in medulla. Then thrombosis of posterior cerebral artery. Posterior cerebral artery, if there is a thrombosis or blockage of the blood supply, clotting of the blood supply, because posterior cerebral artery supplies this occipital region, it can cause visual effect and also hemianopia, loss of the half vision. That will be there because area number 17, 18, 19 lies in this region in occipital lobe. Posterior cerebral artery supplies to this region. If it get blocked, the vision will be impaired. Then other causes of the bleeding other than obstruction, rupture, berry aneurysm. Aneurysm means when tunica media is thinner, and due to thinning of tunica media, if more pressure of the blood is there, blood vessel can rupture. And aneurysm is dilatation of artery due to thinning of tunica media. That is the aneurysm. Aneurysm can rupture. So berry aneurysm you see here, where the internal carotid artery has dilatation, that is known as berry aneurysm. It is commonly ruptured and it can cause death or paralysis. And the treatment is surgical treatment. Lateral medullary syndrome we have studied. Then there can be subarachnoid. Below the arachnoid matter, hemorrhage can be there. In CT scan, we can make out the opacity. This is subarachnoid hemorrhage. Then to know whether arteries are blocked or not, there is a technique that is known as angiography. And in cerebrum, this is known as cerebral angiography. With that, we can check the bleeding or rupture of blood vessel or blockage of blood vessel. This is CVA. So we can see here due to blockage, this area has got necrosis or damage in the cerebrum. This is the damage of cerebrum due to loss of blood supply. Same hemorrhage, if hemorrhage is there, hematoma will be there. Due to hematoma, this is seen in CT scan. So this is all detail about your nervous, your